Oh. Mm. 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 Mm.
Hello, music multiverse listeners, and welcome back to Beyond Your Radio. This is Panelists' favorite show. This is part two of the Panelists' favorites M. If you want to know part one, the 10 through 6, go back and watch. I'm telling you, it was marvelous. Some of us changed our clothes, some of us didn't. I wonder why.
All nighter.
It's, I was sweating through the first one. No, it was all wet because I stuck my hand and tried to anyway, never mind.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, sometimes I overshare. So, if you don't know the people on the panel, I'll just go one more time real quick. We got Susie Q. She's the San Francisco chick over there. We got the Grateful Dude. His no hair is blue flame, and he's dressed American.
There he is.
USA. USA.
That guy in the Celtics jersey who's ready to play, Steve Scouten. The guy sitting on the beach in Hawaii, Jeff Crichton, or it could be a beach in
Nova
Paraguay.
Scotia.
Oh, man.
Yes. And the man with the capital M, Ray Geska. And then on his couch, sporting the Metallica shirt, Jeff Young. And he even gone to the next Metallica mug. Man. Did you change beverages too, or is it the same beverage?
My second beverage.
Yeah.
We're
drinking Diet Coke.
We are going to give you the final five and some honorable mentions. So at number 5, Susie Q, give us your number 5.
Okay, well, they were mentioned, I think, a couple times in the previous show. A fun concert that I went to at Darien with my brother-in-law. We got there on a flat tire.
Whoa.
Almost got burned up in a fire pit. Metallica. It was an awesome show. It was not like what they do now by any means whatsoever. I think that they probably would have blown up Darien Lake had they done what they do now. But just as awesome. And yeah, there's nothing really. What else can you say about them? I again, I wasn't into the earlier music. I kind of went back, but definitely a huge fan. Appreciate what they do. Lars is amazing. I get, I'm coming to realize that I really appreciate drummers, but
Was that for the Black Album?
Black for sure. Yeah, I think it was.
Nope.
Because I know they played at the hockey arena for that album.
No, because
Well,
I saw
no.
them on load
Mm-mm.
and you saw them on reload.
No, right. That's right. Because
Yep.
I don't remember the years though.
And did you tell everybody who opened?
Well, you can do that. I'll give you the honors.
Okay. So Travis Meeks of Days of the New and Jerry Cantrell.
Pretty good.
Isn't it?
And Sue saw a guy with his eyeball hanging out of his socket by the end of the night.
No, I don't know about that.
That's
but
right. That's what you expect at a Metallica show.
That was just one of their shirts.
I was watching the show. I was just paying attention to the people killing each other to the side of me.
All right. Steve.
So you might ask yourself, why does he have a Celtics jersey on tonight? Well, he has an affinity for guys from Indiana who rose to fame in the 80s. And my number 5 is guy who sings little ditties, Hurts So Good. My favorite, Rain on the Scarecrow. He is one of the pillars of Farm Aid. Still playing today. Had the pleasure of seeing him a number of times over the years. 2008 Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. So he just sang about everyday life. John Mellencamp.
Yep.
I Scarecrow would be my number 1, I think, album.
Yeah, Yeah, love it. He does a lot of like, you know, kind of cut down versions of it that are really, really good. Yeah, I like him a lot.
You talk about bands that had such great runs of albums. You look at his run from American Fool to Aha to Scarecrow to The Lonesome Jubilee, especially. Those were four mighty albums back to back to back to back.
Yep, and in such a variety of ways he did it well. It just whether it was you know you know anthems that you hear in every car commercial, or songs about drive-ins, or something as important. Rain on the Scarecrow is all about the plight of the American farmer.
Any, any artist who has like four good albums in a row, that's someone's childhood right there. I mean, that's
It
like,
really is. Jeff, it's really well put. That's the way I look at it. And yeah, he played through mine. So
yeah, and different eras of what was going on in music. He didn't budge.
nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
but it
Agreed.
still seemed relevant and still sounded great. And even he had to do the video thing, and I don't think that ever was a comfortable thing, but they're still iconic.
Yep. Agreed.
Let's see, it goes from Jeff, then it goes to Ray, right? Ray?
Well, number five, amazing, simply amazing the following he and his band have. And they really haven't put out a whole lot of new material in a long time that, at least that everyone knows. The cult following, which includes one or more of you here today, is, something to behold, truly. The fans can easily be compared with those that followed the Dead around or the Allman Brothers, Fish, you had the Parrot Heads, right, and other jam bands. This band made their mark on 90s rock and alternative, and by adding those different world sounds to their recordings, they really do stand out as one of the most unique sounds in the history of pop and rock. I still gravitate to their first three albums as my favorites, but uh, they keep on going. And even though there's a band at the end of his name, it doesn't matter. His last name starts with an M, and he's going to come in at number five. He's Steve Scouton's personal friend, Dave Matthews.
I'll let that one slide.
Good pick. Good pick. Grateful Dude.
Okay, let's see where I am here. My next one is I always remember him because I went to his concert on my 21st birthday, which was a few years ago.
You already said Mozart.
True. They played at the same time, I think. I'm talking about the Marshall Tucker Band.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a great, great band. I loved them since I saw them, and I've seen them 6 or 7 more times at least. And they keep rocking. They play country rock, blues, anything they can throw in their little handle. I've seen them pull off some pretty amazing stuff. But they're a great group of guys, and what can I say about them? They're great.
Okay.
Nice.
Doug Gray's still singing for him, man. He
Yep.
keeps going.
Yeah. Let's see. That goes to Jeff Young now, right? Yeah.
I'm going to go to the musically innovative Massive Attack.
Oh, yeah.
Just something unlike I ever heard of when they came out with, and to an extent still are. And just, all their unique music is just, so many other tracks are pursued by commercials, television shows, video games. There's just something about it. It creates a mood, an environment, a soundscape. And I thought it was interesting that they have always had not so much a carousel, but they would rotate guest singers and vocalists, and always doing something different. Um, but yeah, just obviously Teardrop is probably their biggest. Um, but just a lot of Mezzanine was the first one that I actually got a hold of, but
Mhm.
and then but yeah, just outstanding.
The theme song to House, in case you're not aware of Teardrop, you can hear that in that television series. Uh-oh. I lost Jeff Crichton to the sea, to the sea of love.
He's gone.
There
There
he
he
is.
is.
He returns. He's all right.
Oh,
He also had a plumbing issue that like I had. No, I
No, no plumbing issue.
don't.
Those damn rip currents, man.
Yeah. No. So my number five pick is a legendary artist who helped define this musical genre of reggae music, and the brilliant Bob Marley. His legacy continues with his son and the rest of his family. But what a trailblazer he was. And he made some really, really important records, not only musically, but politically. And an easy number five for me would be Bob Marley.
Great pick. You'd even, a lot of covers there too from artists of all kinds of
Well,
genres.
yeah, Eric Clapton really helped bring him in the forefront when he covered "I Shot the Sheriff."
Yeah.
I saw Ziggy a few weeks ago. He's his dad's son.
Ziggy's really good.
Yeah.
All right. So my top five will be the people I've played the most over all time, except for this one. This one sneaks in as somebody that I have been just growing and growing in affinity for. I do believe he's the new Neil Young of Canada. He has a vocal style and songwriting that, while it's nowhere near that Kermit the Frog type of thing in delivery of rawness or whatever, he just has a tremendous gift of delivering different songs in a key and a melody that kind of transcends that style that Neil had and is not boxed in like Neil, okay? Because Neil Young songs have a certain range. Matt Mays of Canada does not, and just fell in love with this guy. He was in part of a Matt Mays and the Torpedoes or whatever. Torpedoes? I don't know. I'm having a brain cramp at the moment, but Coyote and one of my favorite records of the 1 year. It's a double record. It's Once Upon a Hell of a Time and Twice Upon a Hell of a Time. He does this great rock record and anthemic and singing about a radio station that's out of range. And then he comes back and he says, "Hey, I'll do this acoustically too." And that was Twice Upon a Hell of a Time. If you don't get to see, if you've never seen him live, he does play shows here in Buffalo, and I would recommend you go. He is that slice of Americana, but he's a rock Americana kind of deliverer. He has a southern pitch in some cases too. But I'm just smitten with him, and it's come. He's continues to up his game, as sort of like some other people that are in that same genre as that he is. So I'm that's my solid number five, as Steve would say. Sue, back to four.
And I did like him too. I don't know enough about him to add him to my list, but he was good in concert. And this gentleman also good in concert. I appreciate him for his voice, for his lyrics, for his delivery. Um, Maybe we've talked about him before, and somewhat he can be dark and sort of depressing, but I think beautiful and poetic as well. And that is the Matthew Good Band. I I'm glad he came around and has done what he's done. Um, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about him.
There is a heart and soul to him, but there's trouble in that all too, and
Yeah, that's
he
sad,
is.
and that's too
Yeah,
bad. I wish that he had,
I'm
something in his
fairly
life
certain
that
he has a disease that is not helping him.
a lot of artists do, but yeah.
But he certainly keeps that boxed in rather well, especially shows. He's very entertaining, very charismatic, obviously very opinionated, and driven by certain things, and maybe driven too far. But yeah, fabulous stars, and probably one of those North American treasures that pretty much only Canada knows about, which is sad,
Right. Yep.
or us bordering states that pay attention. Let's get to the Celtics guy again. I don't think he's got another Celtic story.
I don't. I don't. But what Thurman Munson was to the Yankees, what Mark Messier was to the Rangers, what Mark Kulagowski is to Beyond Your Radio, this guy is to yacht rock.
Oh,
Started his career as a backing vocalist and keyboardist for Steely Dan. Took over and is better known as a lead vocalist after a great career that the Doobie Brothers had prior to him being there. Was on What a Fool Believes and taking it to the streets. Um, he has one of the most distinctful voices in yacht rock. Um, he is Michael McDonald, the king of yacht rock, the
I
captain
love
of
his
yacht
voice.
rock, the Meryl Stubing of yacht rock.
Meryl Stubing.
Mhm. He's got a great voice.
Captain Stubing, I presume.
Yes.
Ahoy, mateys. Well, let's go over and check out what Jeff Criden's got. Or not Criden. Oh, my God. Ray. Ray.
Yes, sir. Well, I know he's not going to rank on any list today, and that's okay. Confident in my own choices. At number four, one of the greatest voices in popular music history. He started out as a boy band star and evolved into one of the biggest solo stars ever. His first several solo albums were inescapable on pop radio through the mid to late 90s or mid to late 80s and into the 90s. His he truly made his mark on popular music beginning in '84 and lasted a long time. Gone much too soon in 2016. I'm referring to the great George Michael.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I,
It was.
on my list in the top 25, and just, I
You
I
can even
don't know if
save
it
them for
was
your
like,
W list.
yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I could. No, I wouldn't. That's just not necessary. But yeah, it's hard to believe that where he was, right, and then that voice,
Oh,
it becomes so iconic when it wasn't. It's just weird. I just delivered. Man, that's a great pick. Grateful Dude,
Okay, let's see what we got here.
number 4,
Number four.
4 score and Mozart to go.
This guy, the top four were really, really hard for me. I switched him back. I don't know what I was doing, but this guy had to make it. This guy was the darkest of the singers. Um, he wrote dark music. He lived dark music. He died way, way too soon. I'm speaking about James Douglas Morrison. American singer, poet, songwriter who lived a psychedelic rock band. I want to see him, but unfortunately, he left this earth too soon. I won't even start to mention the songs because there's too many. Everybody knows the Doors, and therefore they know Jim Morrison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I struggle with putting him on my list, but I agree. This the poeticism, the delivery, the front man, you could say Keith Moon, you could say, there's a lot of the people that would fit into that idea and that concept of a panelist favorite show. I mean, if he fronted another band, if he would have said, "I'm not with the Doors anymore, I'm over here," people would they would have walked on over and partaken of whatever.
Ray, you look like a ref looking for his yellow flag right about now.
Jeff Crichton.
Well, my number 4 group is they were part of the British invasion, maybe the second level. But when the Moody Blues came on the scene in 1965, they put out an album with a hit single on there called "Go Now." It was sung by Denny Lane. After that album, Denny wound up leaving the band, and they kind of like they brought in Justin Hayward and John Lodge to replace Denny Lane, and the sound of the band changed right then and there when they put out Days of Future Past. So some people would lump them into the um, prog category. I would not.
Oh, no. Yeah.
They were a pop rock band, and with two great singers who also wrote great songs. And as a whole, they were a great band, and they made wonderful music for 30 years. And Ray and I hopped in a car a couple of years ago and went up to St. Catharines and saw Justin Hayward perform in a small theater, and it was wonderful. And his voice hadn't aged out at all. So Moody Blues, number 4 for me.
Nice.
My number 4 is part of their own British invasion. I saw them in a club, or a place here in Buffalo, rather small. It was on a college tour for MTV before MTV was in its dying stages. But I never thought that there would be 3 guys that can make bigger noise than Rush or bigger noise than Queen. But there is, and that's Muse. Those 3 gentlemen, I don't know how they do it, but they play stadium, 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 middle of nowhere, 100,000 people. It doesn't matter. They sound incredible. They sound larger than life. The playmanship on Bellamy to do piano, organ, and guitar is astounding and something that is not duplicated to my knowledge in Prague to that level, and be the lead singer. When I first heard them, it was on when Symmetry came out. And then from there, it's just been nothing but bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, a little stumbling block last record. It did sound like Queen. Maybe that's their homage to it and all that and their closeness to it. But, man, there's a new record coming, and the first single is Killer. And they are one of those prog bands, pop, prog, and rock bands to behold. If you saw them live at the Town Ballroom, and I remember Jeff Young, we're walking in there doing, I don't think this band belongs in this particular type of stage. We're probably going to get blown through the back wall of the place, and that was exactly what happened.
It's freaking awesome. Actually, before Sue goes, I'm going to give you my number 4. Let's give you. I also have Matthew Good.
Huh?
So, Beautiful Midnight, Underdogs. Those are the 2 ones that really introduced me to them. And everything Sue said, just great lyrics, great music, just well put together. It rocks. And it was just, I don't know, I just couldn't get enough of it during those, those years. Like they were just, I only seen them like maybe once or twice, but just awesome.
Yeah, sorry, I missed you. the screen changes. Sue.
Okay.
Number 3.
I'm also gonna go with Steve's best friend, and it's Dave Matthews Band for me. Uh, I I wish I'd seen him more in different venues, but um, just I don't know. He's got the magic touch. The band had the magic touch. His CD was in my car for 2 years straight. I think the same CD, but um, anyway, Dave Matthews Band, just love their sound and maybe I don't know. They come around again, maybe we'll see them again. That's it. What was that? My number three?
Yeah,
I think
Yep.
so.
number 3. Yep. Let's see if I can keep this and get it back to order here. Steve.
Um, so my number 3, I'm going with one of the greatest songwriters in rock history. Um, Ironic, I have Green on because he's from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Um, First gained fame with the band Them with Gloria. Went on to a legendary solo career. The perfect blend of jazz, blues, rock, soul. His hits are timeless. He's Van Morrison.
Yeah. Excellent choice. I'm gonna bet that's gonna get mentioned again. Let's go to Ray Geska.
Well, guessing I might see him at number 1 on some lists. We'll see. A lot of his material with his second band. I actually enjoyed a lot more of it than I did some of the material from his first band. Sorry, purists. He was one of the biggest names in the world for a long, long time, and he still is. He's still recognizable everywhere. Still touring at 84 years old, amazingly. I finally had a chance to see him in 2022, and watching and listening really did make this grown man cry. I truly do love to listen to what the man said, and without further ado, he is Paul McCartney.
Can't believe he's 84.
He will be on Thursday.
Yeah,
That's insane.
they don't get any younger.
Speaking of not getting any younger, Grateful Dude.
Yeah. I lost my list. Uh, well, I'm just gonna say what Ray said because my number 3 is Paul McCartney. The guy was fabulous. I mean, he was known for the Beatles. I saw him in Wings. I enjoyed them, but he should have been number 1. But 2 ahead of him.
Oh,
So
well, that'll be interesting to hear.
But the guy's great. I couldn't say anything bad to him. I'm not like Mark, but
Hey, talking about freedom, terrible. I'll say it to his face. Terrible song. Terrible. Awful. Terrible. Are we done?
I hope we're done.
Your turn, Mark.
Jeff Young.
Oh, Ray, I hope you don't get upset with me. I'm not picking anybody with an M in their name or their members, but on their 4th album, their 3rd track, if you turn the W upside down, there is an M in one of the words. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to pick. I'm just kidding.
I don't mind, nor care.
No, I'm actually picking Motley Crue because this band, I always say they're not particularly special at any one thing. Like, of course, they have good guitars, good drumming, some good, but they're not the best of anything. But you put them all together, I just love the way they sound, and I've always loved the way they sound. Even from like Shout Out the Devil when I was in the 6th grade, I'm like, who are these guys with makeup and all this glam? But they kind of progressed past that, and they had big hair, big hits, big stage, big effects.
Did they have a
bright
spinning
videos.
drummer? Was that them?
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, just everything was big about them. They were just kind of like the 80s glam, and they were like the epitome of the rock and roll lifestyle.
Great music
Hamrock.
to expose a 6th grader to.
Okay. Got to shout at somebody. Might as well shout at the
You're
devil.
12 years old. Come over here. We're going to shout at the devil now.
Hopefully obscenities. No, anyway. Jeff Crichton.
My number 3 has been mentioned, but the first time I heard Van the Man, in his group Them. The first song I ever heard was "Here Comes the Night," and then I heard Gloria after that.
Oh, yeah.
And then from there, he went out on his own and had a big hit in '67 with Brown Eyed Girl. And what does he do after that? Puts out an album called TB Sheets about tuberculosis. And lyrically, it was a downer of a record, but it was brilliant.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
And then he comes out with Moondance, and then he becomes the Belfast Cowboy in the '70s, and he does a remarkable, mind-blowing performance in the band's The Last Waltz, and the guy's unbelievable. He hasn't lost any of his vocal chops, and he's done jazz records, he's done blues records, he's done big band record, all in his own style. He did a skiffle record.
Mhm.
He made an album with the Chieftains. He just keeps reinventing himself, and he puts out an album every year, and he's like in his 80s now, right? So Van the Man, Van Morrison, easy number 3 for me.
My number three. Wow. Echo.
Echo, echo, echo.
Wow. Sue, you're muted, by the way. If you don't want to be.
Hello.
Hello.
There she is.
All right. My number three. Years and years and years ago, I don't even think I would have known much as to the name, but I would have known the sound. It had that old world jazz guitar, and it might have been pungent to my young listening ears, but there was just something about it still drawing me in. I have every record. I've gone back and enjoyed and found what and how that all came to be. The man is a methodical genius in mindset for just about anything he sets his mind to in the musical realm. He took his parents' player piano apart when he was
Mm.
6, I want to say, or 8, because he wanted to know how it functioned. And it comes through in the music. And it comes through in a ridiculous performance that we saw where he played without a band, with a band that had no humans attached to the instruments, working on valves and from his playing of just his guitar. And he is one of the greatest jazz guitarists on the planet, past, present, whatever. And that's Pat Metheny. He is my number 3. And if he wants to pull electric,
He's
he's
great.
fine. When he wants to do acoustic, he can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be
Especially, I
here in
don't
the
even know
fall.
how he records some of that stuff. It seems like the microphone is somehow just right there where his fingers could literally almost touch it.
And he'll be here in the fall.
Oh man, yeah. If you never have, you got to go because you'll be. And I just love it though. The instruments came out, he goes, "You want me to explain all this, don't you?" And he goes, "There's just not enough time for you to understand this." So, would you rather me play? Yes, I'd rather you played. But he made it real clear that it's based on the player piano, the idea of that all happening. But magician.
He played on a bunch of my number 2's
Oh,
albums.
okay. Wouldn't surprise me. Sue.
So my number 2, what'd you say about her? She was a powerhouse in the 90s, supporter of other female artists. She loves animals. She's most likely tried to make you cry watching her, well, not her commercials, but commercials that she supports. She has a powerhouse voice, uh, and good songs, deep songs. A lot of sad songs, but a nice catalog, I would say. Sarah McLachlan. I think she, if you don't go past what you hear on the radio, then you're gonna be completely like, oh, melancholy. But she's a lot more than that and very talented and Again, I think one of the unique things about her too is that she did really help so many other female artists around that time to find their paths as well, and didn't, let them do their thing, supported them however they wanted to go with whatever sound they wanted to make. But um, yeah, very, very smooth, satiny, beautiful voice. And yeah,
Still
number
there today.
2 for me.
Steve.
Mm, Jeff said it best for my number two, so I'll try to be brief. When you get down to this level in these letters, I tend to look for the pinnacle of the musical genre. And there is no more pinnacle of the musical genre than the revolutionary himself, Robert Nesta Marley. Started his career with Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer. One Love, No Woman, No Cry, Redemption Song, You Hear Them. I had the pleasure of going to Jamaica in March. Um, he's beloved in as you would imagine. He is Jamaica.
Yep.
Um, yeah, what he did for music, what he did politically, um, what he did for his people. It's a shame he died of cancer. Um, the he survived an assassination attempt.
Mhm.
Watch his documentary if you ever have a chance. It's a wonderful movie.
Sure is.
Um, yeah, Bob Marley, top of his class, one of the best musicians there is. Number two.
Great choice.
Ray.
Well, the last two that I have here have gotten some talk so far, but not surprising. Something about this band stood out from the majority of classic rock bands growing up. They blended so many different styles, rock music with classical orchestration, lush harmonies, philosophical lyrics. Really loved on a number of their songs how they just mastered three or more voices singing in great harmony. I think Sue, you talked about that earlier. How they, if you listen to "I'm Just a Singer in a Rock and Roll Band" and just hear all these voices just singing in this fierce, I mean, strong vocal, and they're all singing together. It was really something special. They actually started out with the different lead singers Jeff talked about. And the lead singer Danny Lane would go on to become part of Wings, whereas uh, the two new guys that came in, Justin Hayward and John Lodge, the sound took on a different type of sound, and yeah, they did. According to history, regardless of what you think about it, they truly were one of the very first concept or progressive albums released in 1968, and they went on to quite a career. And yeah, I did see him a few springs back in St. Catherine, Justin Hayward. We did. I'm talking about the Great Moody Blues. Loved the band so much, and slam dunk number two for me.
Cool.
Good choice.
Grateful Dude.
Yeah. Um, I'm probably going to be the only one that picks this guy. And for number two, he's not, he doesn't play an instrument, as Mark um, beat it into my head. He's not a writer, he's a song singer. He sings, and man, can he sing. The guy has a wide ranging voice, and he's known for Bat Out of Hell, Out of Hell, Bat Out of Hell 2, and Back in Hell. And I don't think he's in hell, but if he is, God bless him. His real name is Michael Lee Ade, but you'll know him as Meatloaf. Um, he is. I listen to Meatloaf at least 3 times a week, every week. Um, I don't know what it is. I've seen him a couple times in concert. I'm not really sure what it is, but um, he simply blows me away every time I listen to him. Mark?
Yeah, doesn't have to be making meatloaf to put it on either. He puts it on making scallops, making roux. Doesn't matter. I'm witness. I've heard it. There are some albums you don't gravitate to, but I understand. I understand. Jeff Young.
Gonna go with Muse, which has already been mentioned, but yeah, just an avalanche of sound and innovative too with guitars more like iPads in some instances, but um, yeah, just so fantastic live and um, great music all around. Just really, they could play anywhere, indoors, outdoors, and they would sound great.
And they survived Goldie Hawn's daughter trying to break up the band. So that's another survival technique that the Black Crowes learned too. Jeff cried.
Number two's could have been number one. So number two is one.
You're still struggling.
If Joni Mitchell's not the best songwriter of all time, she's in the top two or three.
If she's not the best, she's influenced the best.
Well, yeah, that's for sure, for sure. She's one of my favorite artists of all time. Definitely my favorite female artist of all time, and she might be second to Dylan as far as songwriting goes. And hey, her string of albums from her first album that was produced by David Crosby and just stripped down guitar and her voice, and then from that point on, her records were one great album after another, and Joni Mitchell stands alone for me. That's my number two. I could go on and on talking about her, but
Well, if you love that, we did a show,
Yeah, we
catalog
got
review
time
show.
frame tonight. Sorry.
we already did that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did the catalog review show. People can go back and look at that album by album. Jeff describes in great detail most of them and why and how. And I was surprised that mine were sort of close into his. There are a couple of few changes, but yeah, it's a great catalog. She is a magnificent songwriter, deliverer of music, and again, one of those that the voice doesn't always have to be the pristine juggernaut. It just needs to reflect the delivery and the honesty of the writing, and she definitely is one of the greatest of all time.
And I was blessed and honored to work some of her records too. So, yep.
Great number two. Well, let's see. Well, it's me now, isn't it? All right, gonna go on the flip side of that. I have a female. I will consider her the lyrical magician, the woman who has like this fierce sense, yet this deliberate and delicate sense, and then it's very unique. It's personal, yet it can also be public, and it can be bombastic. It can be mellow. But it can make 15 to 35,000 people sing along to every single song, even though there are a million words to every song. I'm talking about Alanis Morissette. I'm always consistently listening to one album or another, trying to figure out where and why and how. And the one I always go back to is Supposed Music Infatuation Junkie, which to me is one of the most clever. I mean, she's following a record that is one of the greatest female albums of all times in sales, and how she did that, and with the grace and humanity of it, and very tight. There's no one on the planet like her. There are people that try in some instances, but for very short periods of songs where she is consistently always that way. And which might be surprising to some people, she did a completely electronic non-spoken word album. And she also did some work with an album called The Prayer. And she's also obviously did work with another band. I think she was involved in some other artists. Oh, Dave Matthews. She's on the street album of the. She's at the beginning, the first song. She's background
These
vocal
through these crowded streets.
through these crowded streets. Yeah, that's my number two. Sue, your number one.
Well, since you just said it all, I don't really have to say much.
Oh, geez,
Um,
sorry.
yeah. Well, I listen, and I don't know that she's, again, I didn't do these in order of my favorites, but just figured I would end on a female note. And Alanis obviously has brought a lot to the table over the years, and I think you kind of said it all, really. But yeah, I think again, I don't know if she's Canadian, she's female, what, but I think she tends to get overlooked. Um, and she's just always been a favorite of mine, and so yeah.
Sang the anthem at the first uh, World Cup game in Canada the other night,
I
along
did-
with Michael Bublé, who opened with a song. So that was a little bit something different. All right, Steve, number one. Oh no, there goes Crichton again.
Dawn.
Damn it.
So
Oh, go.
my number one, I don't know if it would have been number one had it not been for 4 springs ago when a friend talked to me and said, "Hey, you've got this opportunity um, that you'll never get again. You may not ever get this opportunity again. You are a musical junkie, and you do not want to go to your grave saying you did not see a Beatle." And that guy is Iron Man. And 4 years ago, he and I and the lovely Jennifer Geska and some fellow friends went to the Carrier Dome to see Paul McCartney. And man enough to say during Hey Jude and Let It Be, my face was dripping wet. And when he was here in Buffalo, I gave the same speech Ray gave to me to Margie and said, "You will not go to your deathbed on my watch and without seeing a Beatle." So she and I went up in the 300s for 1,000,000,000,000,000,000, and she cried with Let It Be and Hey Jude, and so did I again. And he is a genius. He is his songs are timeless, whether they're the Beatles, Wings, his own solo stuff. I'll let the guy that keeps falling off the internet tell you more about all his new solo albums. Very, very, very good. But yeah, Paul, he's just the thing that gets me about Paul the older I get is he's had the huge solo career. He has the career with Wings and the Beatles, but the older he gets, he for guys like me, I'm sure Jeff and Ray would say the same thing, and the Grateful Dude would probably say the same thing. The older he gets, he seems like he's now your friend. He's your buddy, Paul,
Yeah.
right? He's a
Hmm.
musician, but now he's one of us, and you laugh at watching him grow old, and you laugh at him and you're inspired by him doing this stuff at 84 years old. And he goes out there in front of 18,000 people for 3 hours, sings 36 songs, and it's like nothing. And you're like, holy shit, if Paul McCartney can do that, it's inspiring to watch him. So as I went through this list, and I love Bob Marley, and I love some of the other ones, but Paul McCartney to me, he's a living legend. And as weird as this sounds, the older he gets, the more and more he grows on me. So yeah, Paul McCartney for me.
Ray.
Very good. So we've reached number one, and Not anybody new, but there was a lot of great competition for the top spot, especially the last few artists I had. However, this guy really is so deserving of this. He's one of the most respected and distinctive singer-songwriters in rock history. His music blends so many styles, blues and soul, jazz, folk, R&B, gospel, and Celtic music, all into a style that's his own. His voice is instantly recognizable. Part soul singer, part blues shouter, part jazz improviser. He continues to record and perform into his 80s, releasing new music as recently as the last 2 years. Two albums released, so many great songs to choose from. I'll go with Moondance as his best album and would likely probably lean towards Into the Mystic as his go-to track. From Belfast, Northern Ireland, he is Van the Man Morrison. Thank you very
Nice.
much.
You're welcome. Grateful Dude.
Well, I think I'll continue with the same person.
Okay.
In my page right here. He was born Sir. Well, that was added later.
Yeah. He wasn't
George
born Sir.
Ivan Van Morrison. I've seen him 3, 4, 5 times. The first time I saw him and really heard of him, it wasn't those names. That was he was the star of a very old band. Only did one tour and one album, Caledonia Soul Orchestra. And they played in 1973 in Los Angeles. And I went and saw him. I'm blown away. Had to know who he was. And I learned shortly after who he was. But the guy was marvelous. You guys have already honored him well. So I'm not going to say much more than he is one of the greatest. In my point, probably the greatest.
What's your go-to? I mean, what songs would you put up there?
The Mystic, of course. God, there's so many I like. Moondance, everything else. He's done a lot of songs.
My first experience with him was from Good Morning Vietnam. From them, you know, how the Rising Sun, right? And I just and even another honorable mention that'll be on this probably Martha and the Vandellas came from that soundtrack too,
right?
You know, and yeah, that was Grateful Dude, right?
I did my piece.
Jeff Young, number 1.
I'm gonna go with Metallica.
And why not?
You know, didn't listen to them at first for the first couple albums. I didn't really know them, but the first time I went to the record store and decided, all right, I'm just gonna give it a shot because I used to get Rolling Stone magazine and read the article about how Unjustice for All is the only top 10 album ever without any radio airplay. And I'm like, all right, I better go buy this thing. It's probably pretty good. And it was awesome. And I've seen Metallica like 5 times, but you know, everything, it's amazing that a band that successful doesn't break up, let alone hangs around as long as they have, and still to this day puts other bands to shame in a live performance. And yeah, just a powerhouse band. I mean, just probably the best metal band ever, at least if not the most successful. But and you know what's funny is like for as many albums as they have, the ones that Metallica fans would say are bad in comparison to the other Metallica albums. Compared to any other album that year, that's probably not that bad. So anyway, just pretty amazing stuff.
No.
Jeff Crichton. All right, Jeff Crichton.
Oh, Jeff.
Well, it's obvious. You know, he's 1/4 of the reason why I got in the music business. And at times he was my favorite guy in the band. And at times he was my least favorite. But um, throughout the course of his probably almost 70 years of making music, all right, Paul McCartney has rode the roller coaster of making some of the most incredible music. And for me, somebody of his stature has made me scratch my head going like, what the heck are you doing? Um, but I've said this before, some of the most interesting music that he's been making and writing has been in the 21st century because it kills anything that he made in the 80s. I thought was a lost decade for him, outside of a couple albums. It beat about his '90s output has been really good and has about in his 21st century he's put out like three killer albums and two really good albums, and the guy just keeps reinventing himself. And this new record is I would rate up there with one of the five best albums that he's ever made. And so number one is Paul McCartney for me.
Yeah,
I have to listen to it.
a little bit of Floyd in there in this one. I'm like, what? Wow. Yeah, there's some wow moments in this new record.
Mm-hmm.
My number one, I'll apologize to the early fans of this band. Mine is Metallica as well. I know that I'm probably the guy who ended the fact that they went commercial. It's bullshit. They didn't go commercial. They just play. They just make great albums. There is not an album in their catalog, and people can talk all they want about this album and that album, and oh my God, it's garbage, especially Saint Anger. You're wrong. You've been wrong. You've been wrong all along.
Good
You
album.
you have no stance in this. You're just pissed off because your band that was a secret is no longer a secret, and everybody else loves them. They were responsible for metal becoming massive. Period. Sorry! Exclamation point. Great band. Probably one of the most overworked drummers in the history of music. I never see him taking a stroll or taking a time. He is constantly pounding the living crap out of those drums to make those sounds. They're not done by some AI bullshit or some computer or somebody behind stage like Kiss.
The only time he gets up off his chair is to go slap hands with fans.
Yes,
That's it.
it's insane to me. They are, and what their age is and to how they play is still astounding to me. And that's what makes them my number one. There is not an album I won't put on and go all the way through. It doesn't matter. And there's no lyrical throwaways, no garbage songs to my ear. There's something about something. They really mean it or meant it. Tried to do it. One of the greatest documentaries of making an album, Some Kind of Monster. Holy crap.
And some great instrumentals
Yes.
in a lot of albums.
Yeah, and they still continue to do that kind of thing and how they want to do it, and pretty interesting artwork, album covers, things, and concepts. And yeah, I enjoy them immensely. And Metallica fans of old versus Metallica fans of new. It doesn't matter.
And can I just say,
legacy.
their concert shirts are some of the best quality concert shirts you can actually buy. They
That's
aren't
Egyptian.
crap.
That's Egyptian cotton.
It's like they're not crap.
All right, so honorable mentions. We'll go.
I'm going to fly.
Oh, you're gonna do your honorables quick?
No, I'm
okay.
I'm gone.
All right. See you.
All right.
Hi, Jeff.
Well, I'll just say Metric.
Okay.
Always loved Metric.
I don't have any that were not mentioned.
I have two.
No Mata Hoople?
No, I never got
You're
any.
muted, Ray.
I said I mentioned a couple earlier. I would just add that hasn't been mentioned. I'd probably add Mata Hoople.
Oh, that's
Nice. Nice.
Unless that goes under the H's. But anyways,
Oh.
good night, everybody.
You're right.
I'll add Motorhead,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll add a guy who's kind of coming into his own now, JD McPherson, who's Americana, kind of 40s, 50s feel, but pretty good. Has collaborated with one of my favorites, Dan Auerbach, on some stuff.
I knew that. Yeah, I knew that
Like
sounded
him a
familiar.
lot. And I hate that Jeff Crichton left because I wanted to bring up Curtis Mayfield, the the leader of the Impressions, who should be mentioned when it comes to the M's.
Absolutely. Great pick. Sue?
Nobody major. Just going through the M's, I remember we listened a lot to Mike and the Mechanics. They had some really good albums, but
Real good.
you
Yep.
know,
Yeah,
but
when Paul Carrick in the band, that was kind of like,
yeah.
I don't know, but still, I think they did an album a few years back too. So I love Sue's. I mean, I like Jeff's Moist in there. Sue mentioned Sarah McLaughlin. I'll give you four that are a little more on the obtuse side. That one that I learned about and did an Unknown Sunday on. You can check out if you're a fan of progressive rock with an interesting twist. This is Motor Psycho. Then multiple albums. I mean, they've got like I got a pile of them. There's like 11 or 10, I think. Just exploring that catalog, really, really good, tight prog record recording, a little bit of metal, a little bit of alternative, a little bit of grunge. They do it all. Monster Magnet. I was impressed when I saw them live. They obviously they spin into the stoner sludge
Space
rock.
rock.
Yeah, space, definitely space rock, and I should mention that highly. Yeah, and Jeff Martin of the Tea Party.
Mm, yeah.
Jeff Martin again. I've been a champion. There are many people that have been, but as a guitarist, a songwriter, lyricist, deliverer, frontman, he is a heavy on the frontman side, and he can deliver a show whether it's just by himself or he's with his mates from the Tea Party. I think you'd be very interested to hear what he has to say and sing and how he delivers. If you love Jim Morrison, he would be your guy. There's no question of the comparison. I will thank the panelists for doing this tonight, including the two that had to vacate pronto. Uh, we are now done with M's. Obviously, we'll move on from here.
Ends.
Yes, probably a boatload of those too. That'll be a tricky one. So go beyond your. Oh, geez, well, it's been a long night. Been a long night. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We do these articles, we got videos. Check out the website. It's all about bands, albums, artists, anything we get our hands on. Go beyond your radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Thanks for watching. Happy listening.